I have attended several of such conferences. Let me just come out and tell you, you are the best crowd. Thank you again for taking time of your, also great looking, just goes without saying, but thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us and understand the whole mystery behind online and offline shopping. Right, a bit of introduction about me. My name is Atma Gunupudi. I am the SVP of Customer Success at MoEngage.com, right? And what's MoEngage? We are an insights-led customer engagement platform who help more than 1,200 customers globally to acquire, retain, and engage customers across offline and online by giving them a unified experience. We are the top rated cross-channel campaign management tool, and we don't say it, Forrester does, and we are the most rated multi-channel marketing platform according to Gartner. And that's where our customers rated us so. And we are forever thankful to them. Several hundred retail brands across the globe trust MoEngage with the most important thing for them, which is engaging with their customers. And we have helped over 100 of those brands to unify their offline and online experiences. And how do we do that? By predicting the changes in the retail technology trends. Again, I don't want to preach to the choir. I don't want to disrespect all of you. You are the masters of this science. But I would briefly draw your attention to Retail 3.0 and Retail 4.0. During the beginning of COVID, there was this mad rush for all the retail organizations to go online where it was very simple. Where online-offline integration was all about increasing the online adoption, optimizing mobile, and making sure that your customers were using the platform right with some basic data intelligence. But we are now entering Retail 4.0 tech, which comes with wide range of deep tech, right? So it starts with big data, where you as a retailer are able to gather millions of data points for your customer across their devices, across their physical locations, across events that they're performing, right? Your ability to get that data has increased. Now with advanced AI, you are able to analyze that data to come up with specific individual intelligence on what is the next product to sell to Atma, or what is the next product that you have to position to Atma, for example, right? And the third thing is omni-channel, where you are able to integrate with your customer preferred channels across the board so that they have a great experience across different channels. So now, while the technology is enabling you to do all this, the metrics or the objectives are no longer linear, right? Now brands are using this ability to integrate online and offline to achieve far superior objectives, including loyalty improvement, increasing the customer lifetime value, reducing churn, and improving cross-sell ability. Before I bore you to death with my technology and under the hood conversation, I would like to welcome on stage Yashwanth, visionary technology and customer loyalty leader, who is the president of a wonderful brand who everybody here is aware of, and would let him talk you through how they solved the problem. Thank you, Yashwanth.
Thank you, Atma. Thank you, Atma, for inviting me to this great retail summit. It's lovely to be here, and I'm going to take a practitioner's view on how this omni-channel plays out. A quick introduction about the Landmark Group. I'm sure you're aware, but we are one of the largest omni-channel retailers both in India and the Middle East. We have over 2,200 stores and 37 brands. And in India, you will know us as Lifestyle, Max Fashion, Home Center, Easy Buy, and Spa. So these are the formats which we run in the country. So quickly about LMG's, our Landmark Group's own experience with omnichannel. Now, omnichannel is not a specific phenomena. In the last, I would say, 5, 6 years, 7 years, the customer has completely changed, and all of us are aware, right? So what has happened is that the customer starts his purchase journey from anywhere. It could be a WhatsApp message which you're sending out to him, or it could be a notification on his app, or it could be it's just that he's browsing a website and he sees something interesting and he starts his journey there. But it doesn't end there. He can go to the store, he can browse the product, and then he can decide that maybe let me go back, let me think about it for a day, and then finally buy online, or he might get back to the store. So in simple terms, what has really happened is that the simple linear journeys of the old, right, where a customer would look at your ad, go to the store, purchase a product, or go online and make a purchase is not happening right now. So from simple linear journeys, we moved to multi-channel back and forth journeys, which are extremely complex. And that is, friends, the reality of the omni-channel experience. Now, what does this really mean? Why do we need to get an omni-channel experience? Now, so fundamentally, why do retailers need to create an omni-channel experience is a question which I'll try and address right now. Essentially, with omni-channel, what you're really doing is you're improving both your online and offline experiences, right? So what does that do? That really improves your walk-ins to your stores, as well as it also improves the visits to your websites and such. So finally, what it does is that it gets you higher revenue both offline and online. So today, I would say that an omni-channel experience is really, it's not a must-have capability. It's not a good-to-have capability. It's a must-have capability for our brands. That's what we've realized from our own experiences. Moving on, but if it's that straightforward, right? Why aren't everybody doing it? Why isn't every brand, every company chasing the omni-channel journey? It's a bit complex. The first reason is that there are what we call as data silos. Your omni-channel data is typically separate from your offline data. So what happens is that you don't know your customers from a single view perspective. So for instance, it could be the customer's birthday, and on online you don't have that information. So you could be pestering him to buy something at, let's say, 50% off, 20% off, right? So the context is also super critical. So for you to have a great omni-channel experience, you need to break the data silos. The second reason is delays in data ingestion. So offline can work at a slower pace. When you run an offline campaign, you see results over a few days. You still have that luxury. But when you combine offline with online, you need to really look at near real-time data. For instance, if you're running a campaign and the campaign is working well everywhere, but not in a particular city, so maybe your translation, maybe you got something wrong with the artwork, with the content in a particular city. So you need to be able to move fast. So that's really the requirement from a data ingestion perspective. Personalization. Again, personalization is very important. The types of products people buy offline and online are very different. You need to know that. For instance, you might buy a bit more expensive products offline, whereas your more regular day-to-day products is something which you probably buy online. So you need to be able to understand the context of the customer's buying situation, and therefore personalization is super important to create a good omni experience. And last but not the least is that you got to remember the last transaction. See, for instance, if your customer has complained about, let's say, a certain experience, let's say your delivery got delayed by a few days, and he's given you a negative detractor NPS score, you surely shouldn't send a promotional message for some time till you've resolved that issue. So that's an example of having an inconsistent experience between offline and online. So unless you tackle these things, and these things are not very easy to tackle, definitely doable, unless you tackle these aspects, you'll not be able to create a great omni-channel experience. The next slide is about how did we actually solve this with MoEngage. So MoEngage is a great tool. We've been using it for some time. So firstly, what it does is that the single view of the customer, or the customer 360 as people call it, is essentially understanding of the customers from his transactions, from his interactions. What did he browse, what products did he browse, what products did he like, across all your channels. Did he give you a great score when you sent out an NPS survey? Did he like your products, and so on? So this is super critical in doing that. And with MoEngage, we've been able to create a single view of the customer. The second bit is about real-time data ingestion. Again, I go back to that example. We are not in the days of yore where you had time, where you would sit and analyze your campaigns on Monday to figure out what you should run over the weekend. Those days are gone now. You need to keep a track of, how are customers responding to your campaigns as the day progresses and take very specific actions. You might tweak your offer, you might change the communication, you might change the emphasis, you might change the channels of your communication for every campaign. So you need to really respond, and therefore real-time ingestion as well as this agility and flexibility is important. Agility is simply the capability to do things very quickly, right? So that brings me to the last point, which is the self-service platform. Now, why do we need MoEngage as a great self-service platform, and why is this important, right? So when you have to act, you see, in the morning you need to set up your campaigns. By mid-morning, by afternoon, you need to get a good insight on, is it working, not working. Then you need to figure out if you're going to tweak those campaigns to make that work better. All of this cannot be done when you have large teams. So you need a simple self-service tool which does simple analysis, gets you the insights, gets you also helps you create customer journeys and so on and so forth. So this whole aspect of creating an agile customer journeys for every segment of your customer can only be possible if you have self-service capability. So when you have self-service capability, your marketing folks don't need data engineers, they don't need data scientists, etc. They can quickly run through what's happening, understand which campaigns are working, which campaigns need to get tweaked, which campaigns needs to get amplified, and so on and so forth. So that's this bit about the self-service platform. So I guess this captures most of the aspects of how we've been able to leverage MoEngage to drive our omnichannel experience. So this is an example of what we do. In this particular instance, these are specific campaigns which we run with various objectives. So in the first example, as you can see, the customer segment is of a one-time shopper, and he has low intent, right? In earlier days, you would probably have one objective, how do I get him to transact more, right? But if you notice, these days you have two objectives. One is get him to buy, repeat again, and also get him to explore our online business, because he's not yet an omni customer, he's an offline customer. So what we do is that to get the customer to repeat as well as try online, we use a lot of tactics. These are tactical campaigns which we run, and these are a few examples here. You could run geolocation campaigns, you could make it loyalty based, you could use triggers like there's a big sale opportunity, it could be a festival, etc. Essentially what you're trying to do is that you're trying to get the customer to make one more purchase, and that's one example of how you can stitch an omni experience. The other example is you have a customer who's high intent, but he's already a frequent shopper, right? So here the objective is not so much for him to repeat, because he's already your repeat customer. So what do you want to do? You want him to download your app. So the primary focus of your campaign moves from repeat to get him to download the app. The secondary objective is obviously get him to buy more. So that's a subtle but important difference between how do you create an omni experience. With an app, he'll be able to experience your product and services far better. So likewise, there are similar examples from an offline perspective. Again, in an offline perspective, if you're a first-time visitor, your sole objective is to get him to repeat, and then also get him to try and look at online. So this is what we do. And if you're a frequent shopper, for all frequent shoppers, what do you want to do? You want him to upsell, you want him to cross-sell, and that's realistically possible only if you personalize these days. So these are just quick examples of how we run our campaigns. Okay, so these are examples of campaigns. Unfortunately, I think it hasn't resolved really well, but the first one is really a Max Fashion campaign, which is about getting the customer to come back and shop because there's a great offer. The second one is about getting the customer to download the app because there's a cool new product which has been launched. The third example is of a example from lifestyle, again getting the customer to drive repeat with the coupon. And the last one is obviously a very personalized experience. To that extent, we've gone out and told the customer, you should buy this particular chair. So again, it is complex, it's difficult, but it's certainly possible. And this is how you kind of stitch together a great omni experience. And some of the key takeaways for us, if you as a brand want to create a great omni-channel experience, which delivers value for your business. The first thing you need to do is that you need to have personalization. I think that is fairly straightforward. But the starting point for everything is really the single view of the customer. I think Atma touched upon it when he said big data and all that. What it essentially means is that you got to understand your customer from all perspectives. Is it his birthday which is coming up? Is it his wedding anniversary which is due this month? Did he like the experience when you shipped a product to him? Was he unhappy? And so on and so forth. So the single view of the customer is really the starting point for creating this great Omni experience. Apart from that, there is agility, which I spoke about earlier. In these days, it's not about days, it's about minutes, it's about hours, and so on and so forth. Self-service, again, self-service is linked to agility, where you need to have empowered marketing teams who are empowered to make changes, do experiments, A/B testing of their campaigns. If this offer hasn't worked, change the offer. If your 10% off doesn't work, why don't you change it to 500 rupees off? So you need to have a lot more self-service capabilities embedded, not just in your tools, but also in your marketing teams to make this possible. And of course, experimentation, which is something which is also critical. The ability to create small experience, fail fast, learn quickly, and then slowly evolve the proposition. And the proposition might change next month, and so on and so forth. So this, to me, I think are some of the most crucial, critical implications of putting together a great Omni experience. This is our learning from the Landmark Group.
Thank you.
Back to you, Atma.
Thank you very much, Yashwanth. And as a frequent buyer of Landmark Group, let me tell you that this campaign is working. This strategy definitely works. So just to tie it back together, right? Like also this is a guidance or a few cents from our side to all the purchasers of a platform out there. When you're picking a platform, like Yashwanth mentioned, pick a platform which can be a one-stop shop of all the requirements that you have. So MoEngage as a tool can analyze the data that Yashwanth was talking about, right? We can engage in terms of creating that one-on-one. We have a proprietary Sherpa AI technology which helps you create personalized one-on-one campaigns. I get the message. But, and we have informed that will help you to send messages across for transactional communication and finally personalize, right? With that, here is our QR code if you would like to know more about the product. Thank you.